Now, welcome to the next stage of your coding journey. We just completed a massive project building our contact book from scratch. So in that project, we've used a dictionary, like we store a name and a value to represent the contact, and then this worked, but it's not perfect. What if you misspelled the key? What if you wanted to add a specific functionality to every contact, like maybe send SMS command or something like? We need a way to create our own custom data types that bundle together the data, like maybe a name and a phone number and the function that works with that data. So now today we'll learn how to do that. And welcome to the world of object-oriented programming, OOP. So before we start, let's go ahead and create a folder for that. So we're gonna go cd ... and I'm gonna make a directory which is OOP, and then I'm gonna cd to OOP. Now, what is object-oriented programming? What are classes and objects? All right, I'm gonna give you an analogy, rather let's say the blueprint and the house. So this is the most important analogy that you will learn in OOP. Now, a class is a blueprint. It's a detailed plan for something, right? A blueprint for a car defines what car it is. It has a make, it has a model, it has a year and a color. It describes the properties of every car, but it's not the car itself. And then an object is an actual thing that you build from the blueprint. Like the Toyota Hilux is an object created from the car class. Your VW Polo is another object. They were built from the same blueprint, so they share the same structure, but they are individual, unique things with their own specific details. So in OOP, we first design the blueprint, the class, and then we create a unique copies, which is the objects. Now, using this analogy, let's go ahead and create our first class. So we're going to create a car class. In Python, we use class keyword. It's a strong conversion name. Classes use Pascal case, right, where each word is capitalized. All right, so let's create a file first. So the file we'll call it let's say new item OOP and then practice OOP.practice. Now we create a class called car, and then we're going to have what we call a constructor method. Okay, let me just make a comment here. So this is the constructor method. Anyway, this is a double underscore, and then here I need to pass make the model of the car and the manufacturer, the year of the car, and then followed by the attributes. So here we're gonna have, let me just make a comment. So we're gonna have the attributes. Now wait a minute, what is that? Let's break it down. Now the first line, looking at the first line, this is a special function called the constructor or the initializer. So the double underscores means it's a special to Python. So this function runs automatically every single time you create a new object from this class. So its job is to set up the object's initial state. The keyword self, this is a major keyword. Self refers to the specific object being created. So think of it as the object referring to itself. Right? So when we say self.make is make, we're saying attach the make that was provided to me, the specific car objects being built. Make, model, and year, these are parameters that we must provide when we build a car. I'm talking about all these parameters here. So these are the parameters that we must provide when we build a car. And then self.make, self.model, self.year, these are called attributes. They are variables that belong to the objects, though they are the car's actual properties. Now let's say we want to create objects from our class. So now we have a blueprint. Now let's build some cars. So creating an object is also called creating an instance of the class. So somewhere here we can have car, say car 1 is car, and then now I'm gonna pass Toyota, and then Hilux, and then the make is 2022. Okay, you must just make sure that you mind the indent. So make sure because Python is very strict when it comes to the indentation. So now creating an object or an instance of the car class. Let's create another one. So we can say car 2, and then this one is a Ford. So when we run this, the underscore init method, it's called for each class, and then you'll see our car has been built, and then message, it will, I mean that message, our car has been built message will print twice. We now have two distinct car objects stored in the memory. So let's see how it actually works. So I'm gonna run this, which is OOP underscore practice dot py. Then you can see that a 2022 Hilux has been built, a 2023 Ranger has been built. Now car1.make goes to the car1 object and retrieves the value of the make attribute. And then even though they came from the same blueprint, car1 and car2 are completely separate and hold their own data. So this is a huge new topic, maybe the biggest mental shift, in the entire course. But don't worry if it feels a bit abstract. So the more you work with it, the more it will click. So today we've defined what are objects. Next lesson we'll define what our objects can do by giving them methods.